Welcome back, and thank you for being with us today on Nadya's Identity Files. I'm so excited to have with me Tiffany Scott, founder of You Me She Collective. So, Tiffany, are you happy to be here?
Of course I am. I'm super excited.
Yay! So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So I work with small business owners and actually large business owners and entrepreneurs to help them get really clear on their message so they can create what I call an in-demand brand.
An in-demand brand. And what makes an in-demand brand?
What makes an in-demand brand is the uniqueness of you. That's my theory. There's a lot of things that make an in-demand brand. It's being really clear on what your message is, what makes you unique in the marketplace. But what I really focus on for my clients is stepping into their uniqueness so they can stand out and spread the message that they want to spread.
I love that. I feel like there is a lack of authenticity existing in the marketplace today, and I think it's really important that even if you're running a big corporation, that you have some sort of connection with why you're doing what you're doing and the identity of you and your corporation. I think your work is really great at fostering an awareness of that. In fact, on your website you say that you foster the DNA of businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about what really is the DNA of a business? I mean, what's your process for pinpointing that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, authenticity is being thrown around a lot lately, and I feel like there's a need for it more than ever. So when I talk about fostering the DNA, it's really getting into the depths of why a company does what they do, why a person does what they do, why they start their business. And that really goes back to the core values. So I really harness or focus in on what people's values are and then build the foundations based off that.
Interesting. So can you give an example without necessarily naming any names, like your process of just digging in and extracting that DNA? It's interesting because I don't know if you heard what I was going into earlier. I mentioned how in mathematics the definition of identity relates to a transformation that leaves an object unchanged, kind of relating to the core self of a person, but still growth. There's still growth that's occurring. So it sounds like you really want to kind of rein in or at least funnel into that core, but then flesh out a larger message based upon that to allow growth and movement.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so true. So where I really start from is from the inside out. So there's a lot of deep work. So my process is really, working with corporations in my previous life, there's a lot of things that you do that are standard. So you work on your vision and your mission and your values and things like that. But all of those things come from a very conscious level. So what I do with my clients is really connect them with their values from an unconscious level, because values are something that are running in the background of us all the time. And it's something that we'll say from a conscious level, like it's integrity and it's trust and it's family and all those sorts of things, which are great values. But when you really connect with your values from a subconscious level, that's where the connection really starts to come together, and you get really connected with why you do what you do and where that comes from. So it's a process. It's basically something I learned through NLP, and it's something that you can do on your own. But I find time and time again when I do it with my clients as a partnership, you can go even deeper into what that is and draw that out of them.
What is NLP?
Oh, neuro-linguistic programming.
Oh, wow. I love it. When you stand it out, it sounds really intense. Do any of your clients say, oh my God, I don't want to be programmed? Like, what are you going to do? I'm going to put electrodes on my head, pull out my authentic self.
It's not programming as such. It's just a different way of speaking and connecting with people, right? So there's a lot of subconscious work there, which sometimes is really scary for people. But it's an easy and seamless process, and when you step through it and do it, it's like such an eye-opener, and it's so powerful, and it ignites people, and I love doing it. That's just the starting process of what I do to work with my clients.
It's fascinating. Do you give them a specific exercise to kind of start unwrapping whatever layers that they have that are preventing them from accessing this on their own.
Yeah, and it is something that you can access on your own, and I'm doing actually an online course at the moment where a client actually did hers on her own, and then we did it together, and the results were so much more profound by doing it with someone else, because you're getting out of your head. Right? And the process is just a simple series of questions that I asked to get them to, well, for one, get out of their head, and then start that flow of the answers coming through, and then we dive deeper into what those actual values mean, and it's really powerful at how they connect with each other, and how it, you have different values for different things. So you have values for your overall life, but you break those down into values for your business, values for your family, values for your health, wealth, and so on. And what I focus on is values for your brand and your mission.
I love that. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much intersection there is in everything. And just because, I think people also distance themselves perhaps too much from their work, or they feel that they need to have that separation between their personal self and values and what they have written out to be the values and expectations for their business.
Yes, absolutely. And I think, again, more than ever, when you're developing a business or in your business, it's really important that you establish your personal brand around that, because we are living in a digital age, right? And connection is needed more than ever. People are really I don't think desperate's the right word, but really want it. When you think about, I think you're talking about the Kardashians before, it's like that peephole experience. So people want to know, they want to experience people. So if you're developing a brand, which you think is outside of yourself, you have to develop your personal brand as well, because you look at the Richard Bransons of the world, it's Virgin, but it's really connected to his own brand and personality.
I mean, he allows so much of his personal self to bleed into everything that he does, between talks or lectures or just even simple tweets. You feel it constantly. Whereas someone like our friend Kim Kardashian, who we mentioned earlier, everything feels very contrived and very scripted. And even if it is a curated identity for digital space and everywhere else, it feels very put on, which, that's why a lot of people are wondering about the legitimacy behind this event that just happened. Is it real? Is it not? All that madness.
Yeah, we need authenticity, back to what you were saying before. I mean, everyone has a brand. Everyone has a brand. It's just a matter of whether it's real. Speaking of Kardashians, whether it's strong or weak, or, it's invisible. Everyone has a brand. So it's really identifying what your brand is and getting to the core of you and bringing that out and standing in that, being powerful around that and owning that.
Exactly. So, I mean, when it comes to your own journey and your own value system, how much has that kind of paved the way in leading you to the work that you do today?
Yeah, it's huge. It's a big part of my brand. I think if you go onto my website, you'll see that it has a very, very feminine feel to it. And my overlying message is around women connecting with women. And that's what I do. And because of my, experience in branding and marketing, that has led me to being able to foster a process and relationships with women that really helps them connect with their uniqueness. And that's what branding is, like you said, authenticity and uniqueness and standing out in the marketplace. Because when you come from a place of connecting with your own uniqueness, there is no competition, right? And there's a lot of change that needs to happen out there with women really realizing that when we come together and support each other, we're a force to be reckoned with. We're really powerful. And I've come out of a corporate background where there was a lot of women trying to climb each other, climb their way to the top, and a lot of masculine energy around that. And I was guilty of that as well. And then going back to my childhood, where I was bullied as a child by groups of girls and not really understanding why, and now realizing that I had to go through that journey because part of my purpose and mission is bringing women together so we can collaborate and co-create and really do amazing things in the world.
And that's why you decided to found a collective rather than just kind of going at it completely solo.
Exactly. And even the way that you and I came together is a great example of collaboration. We both have experience in branding and marketing, and we recently held an event and we shared our expertise, and we weren't competing against
Right.
each other. We were
Exactly.
collaborating.
It was complete collaboration with the outright goal of inspiration and having people walk away with seeds that they can allow themselves to marinate in and grow
Yeah.
with their own brands. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Tiffany, for your time. And you'll be coming back on board with Jackie after my interview with her. So I'm just going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Jackie Ho of Model Baker, and then followed up by a dual consult with me and Tiffany consulting with Jackie. Thank you much, and see you soon.